Celebrating the continuing relationship between Wessex Garage's Hadfield Road Nissan and the Cardiff Blues, the two joined forces in a fundraising effort for local children's hospital T. Haffan. With Welsh stars Alex Cuthbert, Rhys Patchell, Lloyd Williams and Sam Warburton on the mic, Blues fans are encouraged to come down and ask all sorts of questions to the four players in a more intimate environment.
Thanks very much for coming out today. It's the first time we've had an event of this nature here. It's just great to see so many people here. And welcome to Wessex Garage's Hadfield Road Nissan, if this indeed is your first visit. Prior to the start of the rugby season, we had an unbelievable opportunity to become an official sponsor to the Cardiff Blues, which we were delighted about, which represented developing a relationship that we already enjoyed with the Blues. And so far it's been a really great ride, and I think I speak for the team when I say we've all really enjoyed being a part of it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, can you put your hands together to welcome Wales and British Lions Alex Cuthbert and Welsh International Rhys Patchell, please. I have to kick off and ask the first question. I've got to ask Rhys Patchell. He nearly broke the world kicking record last Friday when they beat Glasgow. And I want to ask him what he was thinking about when he actually addressed that ball in that important win for the Blues last Friday, Rhys.
Don't miss, I suppose. That was the overriding factor.
Why so many players kicking the ball directly at their opponents?
Would you like to comment on that? Well, Cuffy isn't a kicker. He proved that a week or so ago.
Okay, first things first, a lot of teams don't have 3 or 4 recognised kickers, so by kicking a ball deep to the full-back, who's normally one of the 2 best kickers on the opposition team, the chances are that your kick chases that is good enough to force that kicker into kicking the ball back to you, which means that you've taken out one of their options, I suppose, of getting themselves out of their own half, and you take their best counter-attacker. If you kick it deep and you get a good line chase, the chances are he's going to kick it back. No full-back on earth is going to kick a ball, or he's going to run a ball from his own try line. He's got 4 players bearing down on him.
Greatest kicker, Pence or Jinx?
This kicker, Neil Jenkins or Lee Halfpenny? So it's a provoking question for the panel.
So whatever said sort of doesn't come out of this room, yeah? So, obviously, I'm very close mates with Lee, and obviously you've shown over the last couple of years he's probably the best kicker in the world at the moment. Obviously, Jinx is the one that trains him, so I guess you could say he's the one that made him like that. I think, what did he have, 46 missed kicks, I think, was it, in a row? But they're both, I think, obviously you can see Neil's had a great career, and he's sort of passing on to Lee his expertise, and obviously Lee's not really missing many kicks at the moment, is he? So you could say they're as good as each other.
Thanks, Alex. Any more questions? If either of you could select one player anywhere playing rugby in the world to be in your team, who would that be? Thank you. It won't be a winger or an outside half, okay?
I think one of the most exciting players at the moment to watch is probably Israel Folau. I know it's bad to say, but yeah, him, I think, obviously he's another fullback, but I'd obviously rather play with Lee. I can say that.
Williams, the one question I want to ask Lloyd Williams is, why isn't he watching more videos of his father to try and improve his game? But that's another story. Yeah, Lloyd, why aren't you watching those videos of me in the 70s? They put me to sleep there, you know.
Well, since I started playing for the Wanderers, what I wanted to know, was there any hints or tips you could possibly give in to get to your standard?
The first tip I always give to youngsters, which Cuthy didn't do, was we had a session at the Blues the other day, and he walked in, he had blood streaming from his face. I said, what's happened? And he had a boot in the face and he cut his lip. How many stitches you have cut? 22 stitches in his lip. And his lip was basically cut in half. And I said, do you wear a gum shield? And he said, no. And my mum always taught me to wear a gum shield. So number 1 would be always wear a gum shield. And because you see some terrible injuries with the mouth.
And number 2 would be, Brimwell mentioned it earlier, but watch the pros. That's what I did when I was younger. I used to watch Martin Williams, Richie McCaw, George Smith, those kind of guys, because I wanted to be a 7. And you know, when you see and you tally up what they do in the game, that's sort of, you know, what's expected of your position, really. So wear a gum shield, and number 2, watch the pros.
Lloyd?
I'd say enjoy it for as long as you can, because you know, it comes a time where you do have to start taking things very seriously, and you know, enjoy your mini rugby, because that's where you make most of your friends, and that's where you get most joy out of rugby, and hopefully that'll push you on then to higher, better standard.
These two are far more accomplished to be advising you than I do, but I would say, as a former PE teacher, don't ignore skills.
What player do you fear the most?
Come on, Sam.
I don't want to say this right, but you know, no one. Without trying to sound thingy, but like, for example, when I played the All Blacks twice now, and the Hackers, the worst thing they could do to me, because I just want to rip every one of their heads off when they do that. It drives me up the wall. I hate it. I mean, you know, I got to the sort of when I was about 15, 16 sort of thing. I used to play against opponents. I used to think, you know, they're only human. You know, everybody goes through nerves. They all feel pressure. And I sort of set myself a target when I was young. I was like, right, I want to be the best number 7 in the world. So whoever I play against, you just simply can't be as good as me. So I want to be the best guy. And that's how I sort of approached every game I played. So whoever I played against, I thought, well, you know, if you want to be the best guy at your position, then whoever you played against can't be as good as you. And that's the sort of attitude I used to take to sort of give me confidence in games.
Okay, Aaron, Lloyd?
Yeah, I have to agree with Sam. I mean, it's important to respect other players out there, because you know they're going to be good and they're going to bring what they can to the game. But I mean, yeah, I think from an early age, when you're brought into the academy, you're just taught not to fear any opponent, and I think it's important that you respect players, because obviously they're good at what they do, but at the same time you've got to be really confident in yourself and believe that you can have an impact, and they should fear you.
Right, lots of hands earlier. Any more questions? Young lady over there. What's your name? Sorry? Leah. Lovely, Leah. What's your question?
What was your best rugby moment?
What's your best rugby moment?
My favourite was obviously getting my first cap for Wales, and that will obviously live long in the memory. But scoring my first try for Wales is also one of my favourite, and I won't forget that. And you know, there's always a dream, like it's a bit cliche, but you know, it was a dream of mine when I was younger, and to do it then I fulfilled that. But obviously I've got a lot more I want to achieve, so hopefully I'll have many more enjoyment moments in the future.
Sam?
Mine has to be spanking England 33 in March. It was we had the Grand Slam 2012 the year before, and even though I wasn't captain for the game in 2013, I celebrated twice as hard as I did on the podium, because I don't know why, but it just felt so much more rewarding beating England that year. Even though it wasn't the Grand Slam, to the championship, it felt much better than the year before for me. So the England game this year was definitely my best moment.
It was the best moment for a lot of us. I remember Lancaster was on the radio on the Tuesday, and he was asked on Radio 5, you know, about the match. He said, we did not underestimate the Welsh. They were just a lot better than we thought.
Right, and just on that note, can we also just put our hands together for Brynmore for being such a great sport coming down tonight and asking the